Assalamu alaikum, which simply means peace be unto you. I am Sister Victoria Muhammad, also known as Black Honesty. Welcome to Let's Talk About It with Black Honesty. And we have a special guest today. His name is Brother Gerald X. He's been doing unity work in the community, uniting Black people of all different backgrounds. And so we have a message for you today, and it is titled The Power of Our Unity. So I'm going to allow you all to listen to my introductory video, and then we'll be back with Brother Gerald X right here on Let's Talk About It with Black Honesty. Yes, welcome to Let's Talk About It with Black Honesty. We have Brother Gerald X in the backstage, and I am about to bring him on.
Assalamu
Brother
alaikum.
Gerald, wa alaikum salam, sir. Welcome to Let's Talk About It with Black Honesty. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a guest on my show, and it's certainly a pleasure and an honor to have you here. The
Well,
title and the topic of this show is The Power of Our Unity. And we just want to learn who Brother Gerald X is. A lot of us already know him and know him by the work that he's doing in the community, because he's doing great things in the community. And that's why I just said, you know what, I need to have Brother on my show. He's a good friend of mine. And when I say a brother, he is a brother, okay? He's consistent. He loves Black people. He loves humanity. And he doesn't mind rolling his sleeves up, and getting dirty doing the work for the people. So I've been knowing Brother Gerald for 10 years. And he and I met at the Performing Arts Center, because also he has a business called Poetry and Soul. And so I just came out and started, assisting him with the work that he's doing. I did some poetry myself because I'm a poet. And we had a wonderful time and a wonderful meeting. And I'm grateful to see Brother Gerald in his development and his growth, and just seeing him make so many power moves and strides in the way of uniting our people. Brother Gerald, what would you like the listening audience to know about you, sir?
about me. Well, first, I want to say thank you, Sister Victoria, for this opportunity, this beautiful platform, this beautiful podcast. And I just want all of the watching, viewers to know that Sister Victoria was uh, a great co-host, for me with my poetry events as in my Black family days and things like that. I really appreciate, you for being a wonderful sister and helper to make those events, uh, you know, uh, successful. So I definitely appreciate that. And just a little bit about myself. I was born in a small little city called Upatoy, Georgia. Uh, one traffic light. It was one traffic light. I was born.
Wow.
I was born at home at 3 something in the morning, and raised up in Waverly Hall, Georgia, moved to Ellerslie, Georgia. That's out in Harris County, out in the country. For those who are familiar with uh, the resort Callaway Gardens, it's out in that area, about 30 minutes below Columbus, Georgia. come from a musical family background. My mom had 8 sisters and 1 brother, and
Wow.
yeah, and my granddaddy was a deacon, and so her and her sisters formed a gospel group in the '50s called the Blue Moons, as little children. So they did gospel music, and later on in life, in the 1980s, they rejoined and called themselves the Bussy Sisters. So I come from like a family of gospel singers. Now one of the sisters, my auntie Precious Bryant, was a well-known blues singer. She had a song on the White Snake the Moan soundtrack, the movie that Samuel Jackson played in. It's called Night Train. She won a couple of awards over in Germany and things like that. My mom and her sisters opened up for the Mighty Clouds of Joy. They were big locally. They just never, took the step of faith to become, big time, because they did turn down a couple of record deals. Uh, I had my uncle, who was the youngest, 9 girls and 1 boy, but he also was also into music. So that inspired me and my youngest brother to get into music. So we started out. My mom wanted me and my 2 brothers to sing gospel. So we started out singing some gospel, but then when we got in our teens and rap music came out, we heard Ron DMC and LL Cool J and all of that. So
Okay.
yeah. Once we heard that, we let the gospel go and we started rapping. And I formed a rap group in 1984 called the CC Crew. I would rap and they would beatbox, and we got so famous that the principal would allow us to rap at pep rallies, and sometimes we would rap like in between the lunch breaks and things like that. So yeah, so I became like the life of the party in one sense. You know, I was shy in one sense, but when it came to entertainment, that shyness came out. So then
Right.
I finished high school and wound up going to college, to Alabama State University, where I majored. I majored in broadcast journalism, communications, and I did that on purpose to break the ice because I was kind of shy. So I said, well, let me take something to break the ice. Uh and backtracking, I discovered at 12 years old that I was good at writing. So we had a Christmas writing contest, and the first place winner got like $25. So I wrote me a short Christmas play called Rudolph the Red-Nosed Elf, after Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Right.
I wrote that short play, and I wound up winning first place out of 1,000. And it took me like 15 minutes to write it. And
Wow.
Governor Zell Miller at that time, he was the governor of Georgia. He wrote me and congratulated me, and that's when I discovered I had the gift of writing. So I started writing plays, started writing raps, went to college to be a news reporter. I was a news reporter for the college campus station and a TV producer. I also did a little radio. So that's my my background in that. Then me and my brother, we decided to start back rapping again. And actually, we got a record deal offer from Equipment Records, which is Outkast, on their independent side. They had the indie side and they had a regular side. So they were doing indie artists first. So me and my brother, we got a offer with Equipment Records. Also, Bad Boys wrote us, and they wanted us to try out for them. So we stuck with Outkast since we was in the South. Did a couple of shows on the indie side, but never pursued it. Like we should have. And long story short, I went solo, started doing some solo CDs, and got a couple of opportunities. But at that time, I was on the journey to find myself. I really wasn't trying to get into the music industry with all the stuff that was going on. So I just started to go on the spiritual journey and
Mhm.
decided that I wanted to do more of community work and unity work, which goes back to my early days in high school. I realized that I could draw a crowd and I could bring people together. So,
Yeah.
we would come together and have dance contests. We would come together and rap. So I discovered at an early age that I had that gift of uniting people. I just didn't know how to do it until I started going on my journey in religion and joining the Hebrew Israelites in 2010. 10, uh, I went to a Hebrew Israelite ball, and I said to myself, maybe I should do something like this and unite all of the Hebrew Israelites together because we was going back and forth with each other. But then I heard God say, He said, "No, bring black people together."
Mm.
And mind you, I had met Brother Stanley and Sister Ruth in 2007 at an AIDS walk where I was performing with Sparky D. Sparky D is an old school rapper who used to battle Roxanne Shante. And I met Brother Stanley. He spoke. I went up and did one of my hip hop songs, which was a gospel song, but it sounded like a Nation of Islam song. And after I got to performing, we met. He talked. He invited me out to an event that would happen. And Minister B, I was there speaking on how he survived the lynching out of
Yes.
Louisiana.
Right.
Yeah, so that's when I really first got introduced to Nation of Islam here in Atlanta. Of course, I had heard of, I had heard about Farrakhan. I had watched the Million Man March when I was in college. I had seen Khaled on Donahue and all of that. But I was just on this journey at that time, looking for whatever,
Mm.
looking for whatever. So in 2012 is really when I started the uniting of the minds through the poetry and soul. I
Mm.
said, well, let me bring our people together through a musical platform. Because one thing about us, we'll come together when it comes to stuff like entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
poetry and soul actually came from uh, a poetry open mic that me and a sister friend of mine was going to start when I was a Christian, a member at New Birth on the Eddie Long at that time, and we decided to start a Christian poetry event called Poetry in Christ.
Wow.
Poetry in Christ. But some
Yeah.
things didn't work out with that. So when God brought it back to me, I said poetry and soul. And in 2012, I did my first poetry and soul. Some members of the nation was there, some Christians, my Hebrew congregation was there. And then I just kept doing them. Did a couple of them at the Brady Center. Then I started doing some at the Southwest Art Center. And that's where the unit to work really started from the musical perspective because a lot of our people got talent. So I was using that to bring us together. And
Mm.
following the minister at the same time, although still a member of the Hebrews, but when the minister came to Atlanta, Georgia, and spoke at West Hunter Baptist Church in 2015, where he was
Yeah.
promoting the 10-10 2015,
Right. Yes, sir.
when that was over, I went outside and God took me to a place on the side of the church and I prayed in my Hebrew tongue. I said, "Oh God, Ahaya Elohim." That's what I called him when I was with the Hebrews. I said,
Mm.
"How can I help Minister Farrakhan in this
Mm.
10-10-215?" Because I've been helping the minister before I joined the nation.
Yes.
And he said, "I
Mm-hmm.
want." And I heard God's voice say, "I want you to, take all of the organizations that you've met since you started the unity work, and I want y'all to come together and y'all have unity rallies, and y'all discuss on what y'all can do as a group in the community to show if the community can see the religious organizations together,
Mm-hmm.
that can influence some of them on the outside to come together."
Right.
So in 2015 is when I started doing the unity rallies. Uh, at that time, I had just met the Moors and some Christians. We did our first one at the Brady Center when
Yes.
Brother Stanley was the student minister. You remember that one?
Yes,
I did
sir.
that. Then I did
Yes.
another one at the Brady Center. And by that
Mm-hmm.
time, I had decided to join the Nation of Islam. And that's when I started. I met some of the Black Panthers. We had the new Black Panthers, the old Black Panthers. We had I met the UNIA, the new Wabians, and that was in 2016. And we had a couple of more unity rallies, did some unity events in the community. And basically, our sister Carmelita,
Mm-hmm.
brother Stanley had me, you and her in the
Yes.
arts and culture ministry. Because we had our rap group at that time.
Absolutely.
You know about
That's
our rap group, Masters of Ceremony.
Masters of Ceremony. We had a
That's
good
right.
time too.
We did. We did. And I
Yes,
was
sir.
speaking to Carmelita. I said, Carmelita, I want to do a different unity rally this time. I want to have some entertainment and some
Mhm.
speakers and some food. She said, well, just start doing some unity banquets.
Yeah.
So she suggested that we start doing unity banquets. And But the unity bankers was based off of the work that we did in the community. So
That's
I would always make sure that we would do at least 3 events a year together, different
mm-hmm.
religious organizations, and
Yeah.
then we would have a reason to have a unity banquet. So just making a long story short, over the years, I started doing the grocery giveaways during COVID with the other religious organizations. In 2019, I decided to start doing Black Family Days because I had heard the minister had spoke at a Black Family Day back in '74, and I looked it up and saw it was started by some Black college students. So I said, well, let me start doing this as a way to bring people together also. So I've been
Beautiful.
doing the Black Family Days for 5 years, and the last 4 or 5, you've been a great helper in the last 4 or 5 Black Family Days. But I I just like coming up with ways to bring Black people together, to show people that Black people can come together, without fighting, without cussing, without all of the drugs and the things like that. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, so
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brother Gerald, you are definitely a student minister. You could carry your own. It's like you are telling us so much, and I'm just so full just listening to what you're sharing, because I've actually had an opportunity to witness these things and
mhm.
that you're doing in the community. And it looks like Allah was already, matter of fact, he was already fashioning you, when you tell the history of even your family members, and being in the music industry, you being 12 years old and winning first place, on your, what was that, an essay, or
Yeah, it was a short play that they wanted
okay.
us to write, and then I
Yeah.
did a short play trying to
Oh,
mock Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
right.
It was Winkle the Red-Nosed Elf, and I did it in about 15 minutes and won first place. That's when I discovered I had the gift of writing.
Yes, yes, sir. Absolutely. So it's like Allah been guiding you and showing you who you are, your purpose. And it's good that you grabbed hope to that and had enough courage to step out and do what it is that Allah was pulling you to do. And so as a result of that, we're seeing the mighty work that you're doing in the unity work, bringing our people together. And what does Black unity look like to you?
Mhm,
And why is there a need for Black unity?
mhm. Well, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. And when I first started doing this unity work, I never knew Elijah Muhammad said that. I just, growing up in the '70s as a little boy, back then I saw how much fun the Black family had together, you know, and the feeling was so good and the spirit was so good. I wanted to bring that back into existence. I wanted to bring that Black family love back into existence again. Like I remember as a little boy when my auntie would throw the disco parties and things like that. And, my dad would have the barbecues and all of the family would stop by. And it was just so much love, so much fun. So I wanted to bring that back together again in this day and time to show Black people that, there is love in our community and we can enjoy each other in a righteous, environment and,
Yes.
and have a good time. And that's just I can't put it all into words, but I've always had this feeling of I just got to bring us together. I just got to bring us together. And Allah God is always giving me ideas and stuff to do to bring us together. I just be sitting down thinking of things like,
Yeah.
okay, what can I do in the next 90 days to bring Black people together? Right now I'm focusing on the Black Family Day, but you already know I'm gonna be coming up with something real soon or
I
later
already know.
just to bring us together.
Yes, yes, sir. And we appreciate you for that as well, Brother Gerald. What are some of the systematic barriers that is
Mhm.
hindering Black unity?
Social social engineering. You
Mm,
know, those of us who know about the Willie Lynch letter, the Willie Lynch syndrome. You know, he separated the Black man from the Black woman. He separated the Black family, and he said after 300 years we got to continue the cycle. So the enemy has used social engineering as one way to keep the Black family separated. He's also used, the government. A lot of our black women, unfortunately, they jumped on the feminist movement in the
Mm-hmm.
70s, which was not for black women. It
That's
really was
right.
for white women. Because during that time, the black man was taking care of the household. He
Yes.
was doing his part. But
Mm-hmm.
when he jumped on the feminist movement, they got that mindset of, I don't need a man. I can do better without a man. And unfortunately, that kind of started separating the black family. Then of course, with the government assistance, to my understanding,
Mm-hmm.
in order for our sisters to get government aid, the man
Yes.
can't be in the home.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
But I don't hear that from any other sisters. I don't hear that like from white women get government aid because they get it just as much as black women do. And
Mm-hmm.
Latino and Mexican women, they men can be sitting right there next by them. But
Mm-hmm.
our men can't be in the house. So,
Yes.
like you said, those are things that are separating the black woman from the black man. And of course, when the slave owner said put the female slave over the male slave, that
Mm.
was like the role reversal. So he was giving her power and authority over the black man. And of course, that killed the black man's ego.
Yeah.
And so it caused some separation because some of the sisters were looking at the white man as their savior. He's the one that gave me this opportunity. I don't need you no more. So even today, a lot of black women are making more money than black men. They got black business grants for black women. I don't see them for black men. So they got a lot of perks and things for our sisters, but not none at all, or very few for black men. So unfortunately, some of our women have this mindset, well, if I can't find a man to make at least what I make, then
Mm-hmm.
he can't be with me. But what
Mm-hmm.
percentage is that? That's for
Right.
black males. I mean, how many black males are making $150,000 a year? A lot of black women are, but the average black man making $800-900 a week, $700 a week working in a warehouse. If it
Mm-hmm.
ain't that, he got to be an athlete, a musician, or something like that. So unfortunately, those are some of the systematic things that are separating uh, the black man from the black woman, and that's why I try to come up with these events, to bring us together in a positive environment, and try to use some of the stuff that we teach to get our people to think, to bring us back together again.
Yes, yes. Wow, beautiful. And you've been doing a lot, to promote Black unity, with the unity banquets, just even with your poetry and soul, and that arts and culture. Who are some of the most influential Black leaders that you like to mention at this time?
Of course, the Messiah, and I miss today, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan,
Yes.
uh, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, of course. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm very studious. I've studied uh, Marcus Garvey,
Yes.
Noble Drew Ali, and those are some that Elijah Muhammad said that we should give credit to because they are the forerunners. They're
Mm-hmm.
the trailblazers who got it all started when we had nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, Dr. King.
Yes.
I respect him for, what he did. Rosa Parks, she got tired of getting up and giving her seat to a white woman. She got tired of it one day. She said,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna get up. So that took some
Right.
courage and some faith for her to do that. And it started the Montgomery bus boycott. And so many Huey
Mm-hmm.
P. Newton, Fred Hampton, Mega Evers, uh all of the black men and black women who contributed something to
Yes.
help make it better for our people because all of them didn't get their names put in the newspaper. All
Yes.
of them were not in front of a TV screen or anything like that, but
Mm-hmm.
they played a major role in helping make things better, for our people. And
Yes.
even today, those who are still in the grassroots movement,
Mm.
and I may not never see you, but you're out here making things better for our community. Those are my heroes.
Come on now. That's right, Brother
Right.
Gerald. Beautiful. And what are some of the qualities that make a influential Black leader?
Uh, First of all, I would say that that black leader has to come from the condition of that people, so
Mm.
he can understand, the condition of the people, and will know exactly what to do to help make things, better for that people. So he has to have a be familiar with the condition of the people. And he has to be honest. He has to be loyal, and he really has to have the heart and the character to make things better for our people. Not somebody who just want to get in it for the money and things like
Mm,
that.
right.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of black faces in politics, but they're not really for us. They're
Right.
just in it for the perks and things like that. But the
Mhm.
real leaders, they're loyal, they're honest, they're respectful, and they find a way to do something to make things a little bit better for our people, because we know they don't run the government. The old school saying was, if we get in the system, we can change the system. Of
Mhm.
course, that's not true. Because we get in the system all the time.
Come on
But
now.
if we don't control the system, we can't change the system. You
Yes.
have to control the system. But some
Mhm.
of our brothers and sisters, they do the best they can when they get in
Mhm.
there. So
Right.
definitely honesty, loyalty, and the willing to work for our people.
Mhm. Wow, beautiful. Absolutely. And what are some of the things that, how can we bridge the gap between that's keeping our people divided? How can
Mhm.
we bridge that gap?
We have to find a creative way, especially with this young generation. We have
Mm-hmm.
to find a creative way to bring our people together. And I think that's where the arts and culture come in at. That's why I do the poetry events. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said the most important ministry is the ministry of arts and culture. And, Minister Farrakhan, he did the hip hop CD about 4 or 5 years ago. Let's change the world. You
Yes.
know, he didn't do it in a lecture. He did it in a hip hop CD. So we have to come up with creative ways in 2024 to bridge the gap between our people. Most of the time, it's going to have to be something that has some form of entertainment in it, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what the enemy is using to
Come
convince our brothers to get on the drugs,
on.
convince our sisters to crawling on the stage naked and doing things like that. So the enemy is using entertainment
Mhm.
to keep our people blind. So we
Mhm.
have to come up with some type of entertainment form
Mhm.
to bring our people together and to bridge that gap. And one thing about the streets, the streets is real.
Mhm.
The streets respect real people,
That's
and just
true.
be real and be straight up. That's why a lot of them respect Minister Farrakhan.
Exactly.
He keeps it real. Just talk their language and
Mhm.
just be creative. Be creative. We have to have creativity.
Absolutely beautiful. Because that makes me think about even with Dr. Seuss, like the children,
Yeah.
reading, learning to read, and Dr. Seuss is rhyming, and these
Hmm.
rap artists and the children when they're so young, they're remembering these lyrics and they're rapping at
That's right.
very young ages, like, and they're mimicking what they're hearing from the artist. So like you said, the artists have a very big power and pull on our people, and that's how we reach them through arts and culture. So that's and I can see it with the work that you're doing, because when I look around and I see people that attend the poetry and soul events,
Right.
we're all in good spirit,
Yep.
everybody's so lit. I mean, it's like we're so receptive, and it doesn't matter what our backgrounds are, what our differences are. In
Hmm.
that time, we are just one, and we are merged in the spirit of Almighty God Allah, and just
That's right.
loving each other. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yep.
I've seen it happen. I've seen you do the work, and that is absolutely correct. And I've heard the minister, of course, speak about what you're speaking about as well.
Hmm.
And he's doing it himself. You know what I
He
mean?
is.
So you
That's right.
definitely are, you said that you desired to help the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, and you were helping the minister before even becoming a registered member of the Nation of Islam. And
Mhm.
so it shows, and I just pray that, you continue in this work that you're doing, that Allah continue to bless you, to be able to increase, the work and increase the unity amongst our people. Because once we rise, we come together, it's
That's right.
all over. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
right. That's
yes,
right.
alhamdulillah, beautiful. Now, people say that we're wasting our time trying to
Yeah.
unite Black people. They're
Right.
saying that it's impossible because Black people are just too
Mhm.
disunited. What do you say to that?
But those are people who have really given up.
Hmm.
But see, they don't have the teachings that we have.
Right.
They don't have the teachers that we have, so they don't really have in them what they need to really
Right.
unite our people together. And really, in the people who are saying that, from what I see, it's the older generation who has
Mm,
given up on the younger generation,
mm.
because the older generation don't know how, like you said earlier, bridging the gap. They don't know how to bridge the gap to the younger generation. They don't know how to talk to them. Uh, I don't know if you remember when I did the Youth Connect about 4 or 5 years ago. We had the
Oh yeah,
youth
that was
panel.
beautiful.
That
Yes,
was
sir.
beautiful. I never forget one of the responses that one of the young men made. He said that a lot of the older people, they don't know how to talk to us. He said they
Mm,
talk at us.
okay.
Instead of talking at us, talk to us. And
Yeah.
a lot of the older generation, they talk at our youth instead of talking to them, because we growing up in the 70s. Back then, they would talk at you,
Yeah.
and you better listen.
Right. And you better not ask
But
no questions. You better
better
not
ask
say
a
nothing.
question.
Just
Exactly,
agree.
exactly. But now with this generation, we have to talk to them
Yes.
instead of talk at them. So if we
Mhm.
talk to them, then usually we can get them to listen, or at least consider what we're saying, because
Mhm.
a lot of them, they have no parents, they have no guidance, and they don't really know how to express their anger. So that's why they out here, all men with the pants sagging and all these exotic pills and stuff they're taking, and they staying high every day, because they really don't know how to express their anger. So they're rebellion. That's what
Right.
they're doing. They're
Mhm.
rebelling, and the older people don't know how to talk to them. But we got the FOI, the Nation of
Yeah.
Islam, the fruit of Islam, where we can train them how to be men. And
Yeah.
most of them are struggling. They don't want to work, or they can't get a job. But we can show them how to make money. If they
Mhm.
don't want to go on the job and work. We got brothers who've been selling fruit cups and bean pies and Final Call newspaper for years, and they ain't had a job in 10 years because they're making a
Yeah.
couple of grand a week just by
I
selling
see
them bean
that.
pies
Hmm.
and them
Yeah.
fruit cups. So
Absolutely.
we can show them how to make money, how to hustle the right way. And that's really what they're looking for. Once
Yes.
Most of the time we don't have nothing to offer them.
Hmm.
We'll preach to them and tell them that way, and stop selling them drugs. Okay, do you got a job? How much you
Hmm.
pay? And
Okay.
you think he gonna stop selling his drugs to go work at Bojangles Chicken?
Hmm.
No.
Yeah.
Most of us don't have anything to offer them.
Yes.
But this
Hmm.
what the devil do. Satan got strip clubs
Hmm.
everywhere.
Hmm.
He got weed spots everywhere, sex
Hmm.
stores everywhere. See, Satan got all kind of ways for them to make money.
Yeah. Alcohol, liquor
Alcohol,
store on
all of
every
that.
corner.
That on every corner. But those of us who claim to be of the righteous, all we
Hmm.
got is a good word for them and nothing is to offer.
Hmm.
So that's one of the main issues right there. We don't have anything to offer. This youth is about money. They're
Hmm.
about success. They want to be the next big this, big that. So we got to have something to offer them outside of just a good word. That's why it's good for some of us to have our own businesses
Hmm.
and things like that. But if they want to make some honest money, join the FOI, and
Yes.
we'll have you making a couple of grand in no time soon with them bean pies and them fruit cups and them Final Call newspapers. If
Yes.
not,
That.
a lot of us who got businesses, we can hire them. Like I got a smoothie business, we can hire
Mhm.
them and have them work for us, or either just show them
Yes.
how to run a business.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. That's so beautiful, Brother Gerald. And it kind of reminds me of that like big brother system,
Yeah.
where you just take these youth and show them the way because many of them don't have fathers in the home.
Hmm.
And, they're just out there and it's so easy for them to join on with gangs and all
Yeah.
of that because, who's really influencing them, who's really taking the time out to say,
Hmm.
hey, young brother, let me show you how to do this. Let me help you.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So, that's the beauty of the FOI in the Nation of Islam and what
Hmm.
you're representing, the FOI, to reach out to the young brothers and show them the way, give them
Hmm.
answers, because you just can't keep talking to them. You got to show them, like, okay, this is how you make money. This is how you respect yourself. This is who you are so that you can
Hmm.
love yourself. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm seeing in the work that you're doing. What are some of the challenges that you have faced in doing the unity work?
Hmm. Uh, things like, well, it just speaking from a Nation of Islam perspective, some brothers who may not quite understand the mission, they may be like, oh, well, you do a lot of work with the Moors and the New Wabians and the UNIA. You Nation of Islam. I'm like, yeah, I'm Nation of Islam. But Elijah Muhammad said we should unite with our brothers regardless to religious beliefs. And
That's right.
so, some of the challenges come from people within your own house sometimes, unfortunately.
Mm,
Then, of course, like you said, on the outside, some people just like you, man, you're wasting your time, trying to bring black people together. That ain't gonna work. You gonna always hear stuff like that. But the way I handle that is like this. This is a vision that God has given me. He didn't give it to them.
come on.
So you can't expect other people to see your vision.
Yes.
And once that I came to that conclusion, I stopped allowing it to frustrate me because they don't have the vision that I have. They can't see it. But
Mm,
that also shows the immaturity in a lot of people. A lot of
mm,
people think you're supposed to do everything exactly the way they're doing it. And if it ain't like they're doing it, it's wrong. But that's we have to go beyond that because they may have a vision that I might not understand. But
mm.
I can't question them about something because I don't understand it. Maybe that's their walk. So
Right.
this is something that Allah has been had me doing for so long. So I don't focus on. I don't even get that energy.
That's
That's
right.
really, that's really how you. But you have to mature to that point.
Yes.
Once you mature and grow, like our study guide number 18 says, rise above all emotions into the thinking of God. Once
I,
you rise above your emotions, you don't give stuff like that no energy. You
that's
just
right.
know this is what God got me doing. I'm sorry you don't understand it, but
Yeah,
you
that's right.
know, yeah, that's really how you handle that. Just don't give it no energy, and
Hmm.
and you can see it working.
Yeah.
So I've seen the fruits of my labor, you know, with the work that Allah has, you know, blessed me with to do.
Yes.
So and then we got a lot of jealousy and envious people, you
Hmm.
know, throughout all of our organization. Jealousy in the church, jealousy in the mosque, jealousy in the temple. I
Hmm.
mean, it's there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You what you're speaking of kind of reminds me of the lecture that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave, A Man and His Mission.
yeah.
And it's like when Allah has something for you, that's for you.
Hmm.
And people may not understand it, but then you know that you have to carry out the mission and the
Hmm.
instructions that Allah has put you on.
That's
And
right.
so, and that's what I believe gives you that courage and that motivation to keep
Mhm.
moving forward. And you touched on it quite a bit. The next question I have, but if you want to add more to it,
Okay.
how do you maintain hope and resilience in the unity work?
Yeah, because like I said, if it's something that Allah has uh given you, that
Hmm.
that that's really how you handle it because you like doing it. It's in you.
Yeah,
That's what God called you to do. That's what you was born to do.
come
So
on.
you can handle the resistance. Like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he got a whole lot of death threats, whole lot
Mm,
of death threats. But he was born to do what he did. So he
yeah.
didn't allow that to stop him. Elijah Muhammad had to run from his own brother, and
Mm,
hypocrites in the mosque went to jail. But
hmm.
he was born to do what he did.
Come on.
Minister
Yes, sir.
Farrakhan, they tried to take his life on the emergency room table at Mercy Hospital, but Allah would not allow it.
Hmm. That's
and
right.
he had to sneak in and build study groups when he decided to rebuild the Nation of Islam, because people didn't want him to bring the teachings back, but he was born to do what he's doing. So when you were born to do what you're doing,
Mm,
that gives you the willpower to keep going.
that's
You
right.
can tell who was called. The Bible say many are called, but
Mm,
few are chosen.
come
You
on.
know, everybody want to be an activist, but
Hmm.
those who just doing it for the attention, as
Hmm.
soon as they get some pushback, they quit.
Right.
But
Yeah,
those who were born to do it, they know how to push through the pushback, and
that's
that's
right.
how you know you were born to do something when you push through the pushback. So this is something that I was born to do. I, I
That's,
I mean, there's no way around it. I can't deny it. I got to do it.
that's right.
So
Absolutely.
ain't nothing gonna stop me but when I take my last breath. As long as I'm breathing, this is what I'm doing. So let your haters be your motivators.
That's right.
Elijah Muhammad said, every knock is a boost.
Yes,
So every
yes.
knock is a boost. The more you knock me, the more I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and he also tells us through the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us through the honorable Minstrels Farrakhan, that to die on our post. You know what I
That's right.
mean? So just like you say, you're gonna stay on your post, and that's
That's right.
beautiful. And I just pray that Allah continue to keep you blessed and protected and motivated, and with your creativity, I just pray that you continue to grow in that area. Um, well, share unity highlights,
Mhm.
testimony that you've experienced in the work of uniting our people.
Unity highlight. So it's a whole bunch of them. So many. I know when I first started doing it, I had a guy come up to me and said, you've actually resurrected my career. No,
Hmm.
he was a singer. I think he said in the 70s and 80s, and came to one of my poetry events and did a couple of songs. And he was like, "You're actually, resurrecting my career." So, and that was a highlight for me because that actually is a part of poetry and soul. You know, to resurrect the careers of people because we've had older people come, young people come.
Right.
Poetry and soul. Yeah, anybody might come to poetry and soul. I don't deny nobody as long as the language is clean
Hmm.
and things like that. So I I just like to see how people having fun and displaying their talent and showcasing their gift, you
Yes.
know. And one of the memories were the young rapper uh that jumped up on the table. And
Okay. Yes,
he actually
that was
performed at
lit.
he performed at my last Black Family Day, November the 2nd.
Yeah, I caught that
He
picture too.
we caught the I actually got that picture. So he performed about 2 weeks ago and he
Hmm.
was like, you know, I thank y'all for this opportunity. So, putting the young ones in an environment to where they're being shown love.
Hmm.
And Brother Quillen, and Brother
Right.
Quillen, man, he can throw down behind that on that mic with that
Oh
poetry.
yeah. Oh
He
yes.
also did a piece at the last Black Family Day about 3 weeks ago, but he used to cuss a lot.
Hmm.
And I met him about 7 or 8 years ago, when we was doing our first Unity banquet. And I was like, "Well, brother, you want to do some poetry?" He's like, "Well, I cuss. I know you said no cursing. I don't know if I can do a poetry without cussing." I said, "Yeah, you can. You can." He
That's
said, "How?"
right.
He said, "How?" I said, "Well, we all got a lower self and a higher self.
Come
I want you
on.
to focus on the God that's in you. I want you to
Mm-hmm.
sit down and come up with a poem with no cussing in it and
Hmm.
something that can be uplifting and spiritual to our people." Because he didn't believe he could do it, and he done it, and he ain't said a cuss word I think in 8 years. So that was what
Okay,
the
that's
highlight of
right.
my
I
life.
bear
I
witness.
convinced, the young brother to stop cussing in his poetry.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Alhamdulillah. That is beautiful, Brother Gerald. Wow. Now, do we need a united black agenda?
Hmm. We do. The last title of the last Black Family Day that I did on November the 2nd, the theme was "We Got the Blueprint for Black America," and it
Yes.
had a picture of Noble Drew Lee, Marcus Garvey, and Elijah Muhammad on it because they gave us the blueprint for Black America. And what was that blueprint? Do for self,
Yeah.
or suffer the consequences.
Consequences. That's
Let's,
right.
let's pool our resources together as a Black people so we can get
Mhm.
our own hospitals, our own clinics, our own grocery stores, our own land. That's what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. And that's what he presented to the government. He
That's
said,
right.
well, since we can't get along over here, and y'all promised us 40 acres and a mule over 400 years ago, we still ain't got it yet. Y'all
Hmm.
give us enough money to last for at least 25 years and let us find a place either over here or somewhere else, and so we can build up our own country.
Right.
See, that's really the blueprint right there. The
Hmm.
freedom, justice, and equality, our own country, our own land, our own everything. Although this
Hmm.
is our country because we built it.
That's right.
This
Absolutely.
is our country, but that is the blueprint. That is the black agenda, the
Hmm.
blueprint that Elijah Muhammad and Marcus Garvey brought us. Do for
Yes.
self, Black Wall Street,
Hmm.
Rosewood.
Mhm.
Wicksville. It's a lot of black towns and stuff that was successful back in the early 1900s. Of course, the
Mhm.
Klan came and destroyed all of them, but that time is over. You
That's
know,
right.
the great God won't allow them to do that now.
Mhm.
So that's the black
Yes.
agenda, but it's not going to happen if we don't unite. That's why Elijah said our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. Not necessarily our money, because
Mhm.
we still divided.
Okay.
Who do we give our money to? We give it
Mm,
right back to the white people.
we do. Yes,
We
sir.
do. So we
Mhm.
got to get knowledge of stuff first, and then get the unity, and then we'll pool our resources together to get something worth getting.
Mhm. That's right. Absolutely, Brother Gerald. Um, what are some of the resources that promote cultural awareness?
Some of the resources
Mhm.
that promote cultural awareness. Well, for me,
Mhm.
uh, there are a couple of actually more like organizations.
Mhm.
For me, we got an organizations right here in Atlanta called the 100 Black Men.
Okay.
We got the 1,000 Black Men. My brother's keeper. Those are some black organizations, and they have resources. They have like for black men, they have like uh technical programs, like if they want to go to technical school and
Okay.
become like a plumber, electrician, and things like that. And some have financial resources, you know, that can actually, help them, in those, get on feet
Mhm.
and get a good job. So those are some like the resources and the organizations and things that I know of in Atlanta that can
Mhm.
help, black men more than anything.
Mhm. Mhm.
As far as bringing black people together and things like that. I see a lot of things like when I go to the West End.
Mhm.
They always have like little festivals and little things like that that can bring our people together. So I see that there are some people who are actually trying and becoming aware and realizing what we need to do as a people. So that kind of puts a smile on my face. I think God Allah is gonna do something He's gonna have to bring us together. And
Mm.
that's my next move. I can't share it on Facebook Live yet, but
Mhm.
I got something in the works.
Yes, yes. Well, you always have something in the works, Brother Gerald, and I'm always looking forward to assisting you in that effort and just seeing what it is that Allah is doing with you. Because it's always something creative and something that's going to benefit the whole. I was thinking about the Million Man March, which was
Hmm.
one of the biggest displays. Matter of fact, was the biggest display
Hmm.
of Black unity,
Hmm.
where the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called
Hmm.
1 million Black men on a Monday to show up in
Yes.
Washington, D.C., and over almost 2 million actually
Hmm.
came. And there
Hmm.
was peace, there was harmony, just brotherly love. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So, this is one of the things, that when people say that it can't happen, well,
Yeah.
we have seen that it is very much possible because it did happen. And we can
That's right.
continue to build on what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan brought to us so that we can be successful. Can you tell me what are some of the achievements and accomplishments that came out of the Million Man March?
Yeah. That's a good question because I've heard naysayers say, "Well, I really don't see anything happen after that." Blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of achievements happened after the Million Man March, and of course, it wasn't televised or broadcast. But the minister said towards the end of his speech at the Million Man March, he said, "I want you brothers to go back to your homes
Mm-hmm.
and join a black organization uh, that can help better yourself and your community." And a lot of those black men went back home and became better fathers. They became better
Mm-hmm.
husbands. A lot of them joined black organizations and things like that that can help the community and help themselves. A lot of those black men left drugs alone, left
Yes.
the alcohol alone. So those
Mm-hmm.
were some achievements that took place, but of course it wasn't broadcast. They're not going to show that.
Mm-mm.
you know. But yeah, those were it made black men better. I've heard, women say their husband became better husbands after they left the Million Man March
Yes, I've
and
heard
all
it.
types of So those were the
Mhm.
great achievements. The
Mhm.
great achievements are not always those that's gonna, like you said, be on the TV screen, or everybody don't have to see everything.
Mhm.
Everybody can't see everything, but those most of those men were made better men
Yeah.
after the Holy Spirit fell on them that day.
Come
That
on.
was the day of Pentecost, and that Holy Spirit that fell on them was the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
Yes, that is so beautiful. And
That's
it's
right.
like, yeah, and one of the things about it is like when I hear that, a brother went and he actually was there at the Million Man March,
Mhm.
it gives me a sense of hope, really, because
Yeah.
I'm like, you were there. That is so beautiful, because I know that it was divine. It was a divine experience,
Mhm.
and it was something that has benefited us greatly. And if we
Yeah.
continue to use what the minister had given us on that day, we
Uh-huh.
could be successful overnight. You know what I mean? So, and
Exactly.
mm-hmm,
Well, and that kind of like, you hit the nail on it. You
mm-hmm.
know, the Black Family Days. My next step with that is to actually take it to the city council and
Okay.
see if I can get Black Family Day a major festival like Juneteenth,
Yes.
like the Malcolm X festival. So my next move with that is to have the Black Family Day festival, and and have it at a big park, and you bring our people together on a larger scale. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to take everything to the next level now, because
Absolutely.
that's just the time that we're in. We don't know how much daylight we got, with Trump in office and the war
Yeah.
on the horizon. So I really want to get more out into the field, and do major big events. Maybe try to get a couple of thousand people and things like that. A little small version of the Million Man March.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So
Oh, to
that's
God.
that's where I'm planning on taking Black Family Day now. I want to turn into a festival.
Beautiful. Yes, I can see that, Brother Gerald. What are some ways that the listening audience can contact you?
Well, I have people call me on my Facebook Messenger all the time. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
this is brother so and so, man. I be watching your videos, and I be seeing the work and things that you do out in the community. And I know that's just Allah God blessing me, and I thank him for it. But people can you can hit me up on my Facebook page, which is simply my name,
Okay.
Gerald Hall. It's a picture of my mom and dad. My dad got on that Yala Kawasaki shirt. My mom got on the black flowered sundress. And hit me up, and you can inbox me through my Facebook Messenger. You can hit me up on my email, which is Hall Gerald, HallGerald 169 at gmail.com. And my Instagram is just Gerald Hall, just like my Facebook page. So you can contact me those three different ways. And I'll be more than happy to chat with you, and whatever ideas you got. I'm open. I'm always looking for people who want to do unity work, especially if you're in the Atlanta, College Park, Georgia area.
Yes.
Yeah, you can hit me up. You know, email me, and then I give you my personal information, and we can come together and do some things. Because I really want to turn it up in 2025. Because we just don't know how much longer we got to do this work. But while we still got some daylight, I'm gonna keep on working it.
That's right. Absolutely. What's a takeaway message that you like to leave with the listening audience, Brother Gerald?
Well, our work go beyond the four walls, and
Mm,
it's not just me. God has given all of us a gift and a talent, and those of us who make the decision to use our gift and our talent, we got to take it beyond the four walls. We got to take our gift beyond the mosque. We got to take it beyond the church. Got to
yeah.
take it beyond the kingdom hall, beyond the Hebrew congregation. That's why the Holy Quran says, big fields await for the wide awake man. So we got to take the gift that God have gave us and take it to the world. Take it to your community. Don't just be a person that go to church and use all your gifts in the church. That's good, but use your gifts in the community as well. I believe that everybody should pick a community to go
Mhm.
to, and maybe once a month or once every other month, just do something in the community and let the people get to know you and you get to know them.
Yes.
Like the pimps and the drug dealers in the 60s and the 70s, they had the streets behind them in the
Mhm.
wrong way.
Yeah.
But one of my goals is to get the streets behind me in the
Mhm.
right way. So let's get out more in the community and take our gifts beyond the four walls. And that's
Yeah.
the message that I want to give to those who are tuning in, because I know those who are tuning in all got a God given talent that you might be
Mhm.
sitting on, or you might be using, inside, but take it
Mhm.
beyond the four walls.
That's right.
We That's where the people at. We got to take it to them, because they ain't coming to us. Most people today, anything religious, they ain't trying to come too fast. But we got to take it to them. And when we take it to them, don't come religious.
Mhm.
Just come with something good, exciting, fun that
Mhm.
they'll like, and but something that's going to resurrect them. You got to
Yes.
kind of be like wise, you know, give it to them without being so preachy and so religious. Make it fun,
Mhm.
make it exciting, but giving them what they need at the same time. So
Yes.
that's my word to end
That's
on tonight.
Yes, that's beautiful, Brother Gerald. Again, it has certainly been my honor, my privilege to have you here on Let's Talk About It with Black Honesty. And I have to have you back again because when I tell you I have so many more questions, oh my God, this is something that we can build on and continue to build on, our
Right.
unity. And so I would definitely like to have you in the future to come back with us here and let's go deeper and more into, what you're doing and just kind of follow up and see what's going on with Brother Gerald in the unity work. Again, thank you for being a guest on the show today, and I look forward to having you again in the near future.
And thank you so much for having me, Sister Victoria. You keep up your good work. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate that,
welcome.
and I'm honored hearing that from my brother Gerald X. Thank you all for tuning in to Let's Talk About It with Black Honesty. And until next time, continue to love each other, be at peace with each other, and let's unite as a people because there is power in our unity. Peace.
Peace.